Hi.
Hey,
I can hear you now
can you hear?
before I can hear you.
Oh, bummer. Okay. Thanks, Adam, for commenting. I'm trying to use my like mini little mic because it's better audio, but okay. I'm gonna repeat everything I just said. Okay, so hey guys, it's Thursday, another Legal Limelight with Francesca Witzburg, aka the trademark attorney. I have a super special guest here, Nina the lawyer. Nina, I was saying how you should be the traveling lawyer with
Oh,
your background
thanks.
right
Thanks for
now.
having me on the show. I'm super excited to be here, super excited to connect again, and yeah, chat and answer questions.
Awesome. So I want to give everyone like a quick intro to you. Nina
Yep.
Marinaro, and I'm saying that right. Nina Marinaro is a New York licensed lawyer who quit her job at a high-powered lobbying firm in 2018 to travel the world. Along the way, she met online entrepreneurs who had no access to legal protections, which inspired her to create one of the first DIY contract template shops for online entrepreneurs. And 4 years later, she's helped over 800 clients at a minimum with 800 contracts sold. She's still traveling and serving digital creators, coaches, and consultants. You can connect with her on Instagram or on TikTok. It's the same handle, Nina the Lawyer. And you can listen to her podcast, The Non Negotiable Success Show, or visit her website, ninathelawyer.com. Nina, I'm
Yeah,
so
thanks for
excited to catch
having
up
me
today.
again. I know we had a great conversation when we were just chatting on the phone one day, and looking forward to carrying that over and continuing that here.
Yeah, so I found you. Actually, our mutual friend Tally Goody told me to watch your content because you've been killing it on TikTok, and TikTok's something that we all need to look forward to in the future. And I can ask you why. But as I was watching your content, I just became really inspired. You're super authentic. You know who you are. You're no BS with your content, and you also travel the world. So tell us a little bit about um, I would like to start really with your background because it said that you worked at a high powered lobbying firm. Where did you begin and what made you transition to
That's
your
a great
lifestyle
question.
now?
And I preach all the time about the power of networking. And I want to tell a little bit of a story because you asked about how I got started in that career path at the lobbying firm. And for those of you who don't know, everyone goes to law school because they want to make a change, they want to change policy, they have these big dreams. And then along the way, your soul gets crushed when you realize you're probably going to be working for people who have a lot of drama, or people who are just billionaires, millionaires, and corporations. So, like, getting a lobbying
Yeah.
position is really coveted, especially for a young business owner or a young professional, because usually you have to rely on your network. Usually it's a very competitive job. But I actually got that job through my best friend from law school, and her and I were bartenders throughout law school. And one of her friends was dating some guy. He was like a millionaire who was friends with the guy who owned the firm. And so, through our network, through talking to patrons at the bar, through looking at the world through the lens of opportunity, she got that position right away. And she's super savvy, and she's still at that firm to this day. She's so impressive with her skills. And I started out in real estate law and environmental law. Actually, I worked for the EPA. I worked for the white collar crime unit. So I was working in environmental crimes, also like negotiating contract settlements, and then real estate foreclosures. So I was unhappy with that work, and I couldn't get a job. The government was furloughing people. So after being miserable in private practice, she said, "Hey, we have an opening, come in." And it's just such a testament to the power of networking. And every single thing I did led me to that path of working at the lobbying firm for my administrative law background, everything like that. And when I was there, I actually got the chance to draft some legislation, which is essentially a really binding contract, right? And you're going through all of this
Oh,
diction and semantics to write the laws. I was also working with a lot of small business owners, nonprofits, and they would come to our law firm half of the company. And I fell in love with drafting contracts then. My boss would always just give me those assignments. And so that kind of was the culmination of how I got the skill set, but still wasn't really happy with the traveling, a lot of, hours spent on dinners and going to meetings, and everything's like an opportunity to network. And I wanted to travel, and this was the time that Instagram was really popping off with influencers, and I was seeing a lot of travel influencers travel, and I'm like, I haven't taken a vacation in years, so I don't have vacation days. I just have to quit my job to go on vacation, I guess. And then I didn't know if I would get the opportunity to work at a law firm when I came back to the real world. But as you mentioned in the intro, along the way, I met people who still needed legal services, and it gave me a great idea to start my own business.
So when did you start your Instagram and your TikTok accounts?
I have been using Instagram to try and grow a personal brand since 2016. I was very active in the start of like the yoga community. I've had my other Instagram account since 2012. And around that time, like yoga was blowing up with, yoga challenges, and a couple of fashion brands were coming out sponsoring yoga challenges. I wouldn't say that I had at all any kind of following, but I had been witnessing what needed to be done and witnessing people who were successful as full-time content creators before that was even a thing since 2012. I started dabbling with different accounts in 2016, but I started this account in late 2018 and my TikTok in 2020, right during the start of the pandemic. But I got back on TikTok.
It's awesome because
I only recently got back on TikTok. I took a break for like 2 years.
Okay, is there a reason why?
I had a few videos go viral for me, like stupid little skits about trademark law, and then there were so many overwhelming comments with like, but this didn't teach me how to do trademarks. So just like random questions and random criticism, and I felt like a little bit afraid of all the exposure because I TikTok, because you can go viral so much quicker, there's also the propensity for you to get a lot more just like mean comments or just random, I don't know. The dynamic with the audience and the comments on TikTok is way different than I'm used to with the community building side of Instagram. So I took a break. I did get some clients from those couple of videos, and then I came back once I felt like the audience kind of matured a little bit. Everybody wasn't just like stuck in their house looking for a reason to be mean to people during the pandemic. And yeah, that's honestly why, as much as it's like kind of embarrassing to admit, like, yeah, I let like mean comments on a couple of videos get in the way of me creating content.
Yeah, okay, well, we're going right to it right now, is the good and the bad of social. Like, obviously, the good is that you built a business. There are, you're definitely a legal influencer. And I think, like, the influencers used to be models and just traveling and yoga, like you said. And now, in 2022, like, check out Tally Goody. Lawyer Britt popped in. I don't know if she's still on here, but, like, she's killing it. And she's definitely... like, you all are absolutely in that category, and it's this new wave of professional influencers. And what does that mean? Does that mean that you're not doing your jobs just to get a paycheck and do collabs? No, it means though that you're using these platforms to share education, to educate people and brands and understanding the law. So we're seeing it. I think you got in at the right time. I started mine in 2020, like when I quit Big Law and was like, oh, now I can make an account and do fun videos. So obviously, like, there's all good in that, and we're early, which is great, but there's also the really bad, which is, I want to like talk about this for a minute, is the trolling. So it sounds like it did affect you. I take the position now where if I see something negative, I block it. And I really try my best to just keep cranking it out. And I understand how celebrities like have like mental breakdowns if they read all the comments, because it's very hard. So what was it that made you like get back on TikTok? Do you think that the good outweighs the bad on there, and what's the direction of your
Yeah, I
account
definitely
going in
think the
now?
good outweighs the bad. And I think that for me personally, I have the privilege of being able to travel, of meeting a lot of people. Like I said, networking and talking to people. I'm very extroverted. I mean, I can be introverted, but I love talking to people and meeting new people. So when I'm out in the world, whether it's, in Mexico where I've been living now, or in New York City going out to eat by myself, I talk to people and I know that people are way different in person than they are online. People that say things to you online, they
Yeah.
would never say that to your face. And also, the people who are saying things online are the people who are not out doing things. They're not out like meeting people, they're like teenagers or literally people like stuck in a basement, and not putting that down because I was stuck in my parents' basement for a while too. But I can see how, like, I stopped feeling like the things that people would say online are actual truths, because, people don't say those things to you when you meet them in person. Nobody I would ever meet would laugh at me or tell me that like I don't look like a lawyer or something. If anything, they still have that reaction of like, wow, oh my gosh, that's amazing that you're a lawyer. But they would never be like, you're a lawyer, ha ha ha, crying emoji. You know what I mean? So I feel like I do have a little bit of thicker skin. I come from New York, I come from this male-dominated profession, but it still is something that you need to be in the right headspace for. I did a no troll May with my friend Liz. I don't know if she's on here. Where like when trolls would comment, when my friend Liz was here and I got back on TikTok, there'd be like trolls commenting and I would like comment something back. But in May, I did a practice where I was like, I'm not going to respond to them. I'm just going to like kill them with kindness back. And it actually worked. Like, I don't know whether me not
Yeah.
responding, or now I feel like I eradicated those kinds of comments. Not that they'll ever come back, but I feel like I stopped attracting it too by like not responding. So I thought that was fun. But as far as like the good side of social media and TikTok in particular, I got off of TikTok, maybe like summer 2021. I was on it for a couple of months. There was a few lawyers. We had a tight knit community. And now that I'm back, I see all of them have thousands of
A
followers. Like
lot.
Tally is a perfect example. And now I see so many law students and corporate professionals working in big law having like, day in the life videos of showing their lifestyle, and so many followers and so many engagements on their, comments, asking questions. And I think it's so cool that we're in an era where we have like professional influencers, because I was scared a little bit that everybody just wants to be an influencer. Nobody work. We need to make the legal profession attractive. And now I'm so happy to see that is attractive and people are like curious and still want to be lawyers, work the traditional jobs.
Yeah, I have so many law students who've messaged me or comment that are like, "Oh my gosh, you're such an inspiration." And I think it comes back to, that phrase, right? You don't look like a lawyer. And that's because traditionally a lot of lawyers wore stuffy suits, or they were predominantly male, because that's how it was. Women were only admitted to the legal profession, like however many years ago. So now that there's more women, now that things are more flexible, people can work from home, it looks a little bit different. I don't do a lot of my videos wearing a blazer. I'll do vlogging videos in my exercise clothes and a cap, but I'm still talking about legal education. So I think it's really important for everyone out there. And Nina, someone just commented that you are a pioneer. You're an inspiration to show people that you can be a really great lawyer and advocate for clients while still being yourself and showing your own personality. So keep going. Okay, so we talked about TikTok, we've talked about Instagram. I want to know what exactly, tell me more about your practice. So do you advise clients? Do you just have your template shop? Tell us a little bit more because every single person needs to
Yeah,
know
so
what you're
great question.
doing.
I have two companies, but I say I have three businesses, but I have two companies. I have my law firm, which is a typical law firm in the sense that I represent clients. I draft custom contracts for them. I help them with negotiations. I give them legal advice. There's a typical attorney-client relationship. Then I have what I call my education and marketing company. And that is where I sell my contract templates as DIY alternatives. I also have a lot of workshops and educational programs. It's grown into, as I've marketed my contract templates really well, it's morphed into me educating on marketing online in general. And then the third leg of my business is now a lot of lawyers in particular come to me for marketing insights or contract content advice. So I also offer like a third leg of my business there. So
That's so exciting. Can you believe like this is where you are right now and
yeah, it's so
from 5
crazy.
years
5 years
ago?
ago, it was 2017. I was still working at the lobbying firm. I had $300 in my bank account after getting like living paycheck to paycheck, paying rent, spending money on suits, spending money on train tickets. And, my company would reimburse me, but I still had to put everything out of my credit card or out of my debit card. And I just felt like I couldn't live a healthy lifestyle that I wanted to. And I know things have changed a lot since then in terms of the profession, but I would have never imagined that this would be possible for me. And I just remember looking at my phone, looking at the early influencers and being like, how do they do this all the time? Like, if they could figure this out, that tells me two things. Number one, do they need lawyers? Like, who's looking at their contracts? Like, what's going on? Are they using contracts? And number two, like, if they can figure it out, I can figure it out, right? Like, that's, you don't need to have like a photographer boyfriend like a lot of earlier influencers did. You could figure out with technology, how to take good quality photos, or you don't even need to have photos of your face. I didn't have photos of my face. My first photo shoot was this year. So yeah, 5 years ago, I would have never imagined being here today, but one thing leads you to another when you look at the world through the lens of opportunity.
What advice do you have for the next generation of law students coming in? These are people who did most of their law classes virtually. They're doing flexible, half remote jobs and internships. So it's a very different mindset of the next gen coming in. What's your
So I
advice
have
to
two
them?
pieces of advice. Number one would be to still get out there in the real world as much as you can. When I had quit my job at the lobbying firm, the first thing I did was I went back to bartending and I became a barista because I knew that, like, even though you might feel some type of way about working those kinds of jobs, you have to think about who you might meet working for those kinds of jobs. Who are the patrons of those places? So you have conversations with them and they're not going to judge you for being a bartender working your way up. Like, that's how I met a lot of clients, and a lot of connections was through going to yoga, talking to people, telling them what I'm doing. So you have to put yourself out there in the real world too. Like, don't forget to use your actual network. Carry business cards. I get asked for business cards all the time and I don't have any still. But the second thing is build your personal brand. So I came from the era of delete your Facebook, you're never going to get a job, blah, blah, blah. And now things are changing. You're asked to see your LinkedIn or your social media. Why? Because you can build yourself up as an authority by you creating content. You can become someone who is a valuable asset to any business, whether it's your firm or someone else's firm, because by building a personal brand, you build the opportunity to become a rainmaker or a generator for others' businesses. And that's how you become partner. That's how you get a job at a big law partnership, position, because you're able to generate clients, generate business, make connections for the firm. That's something that was never taught to you in law school. You think you can get straight A's and become partner at a big law firm? Good luck. You need to know how to talk to people. You need to know how to sell yourself and your services to people. That is non-negotiable. And at the very least, you get to also Then become more picky about the jobs you take, so you don't have to spend 6 months here, 6 months there, hopping around to from firm to firm. You get to have more of a say in what kind of clients you take, what kind of firms you work at, because you're creating a niche and a brand for yourself as doing XYZ thing or being interested in XYZ thing. So build your personal brand 100%, and get out there in the real world too. So build it online and in person.
Oh, I love that. And this is huge, guys. Like this is coming from someone who is almost doing who is the online marketing queen right now, really, on TikTok, on Instagram, online. So if you are saying to go out in person, like in person is still critical. Think of it as a hybrid model. That was such great advice, Nina. Like seriously, you hit the nail on the head. I love that. Okay, so we're at the end, but before we go, where is the best place for people to connect with you? And then where is the best place for people to actually go?
Great. So we're on Instagram. So I would say just follow me, DM me here. That's the thing I love about Instagram compared to TikTok. Even though I'm having fun creating like behind the scenes and motivational content on TikTok, my legal advice is still mostly here, or not legal advice, my legal education. But
yeah, your
also,
content.
Instagram has a better platform for communicating with people, DMing them, building community, having deep conversations. So send me a DM, send me a voice note. I can send you the link if you need to book a call, or if you're interested in contract templates, that I can send you the link for as well. So this is the best place to connect with me. But you can also find me on TikTok at Nina the Lawyer if you want some more behind the scenes content, or if you want just some more insights, motivation, my podcast, Non-Negotiable Success Show. And we'll have to talk about getting you on the podcast soon, Francesca. That would be so awesome.
Yes, because you and we have very similar stories. When I left Big Law, overcame burnout, and decided to take a gamble on myself and use the internet to do it. So we'll definitely chat.
Because I love to also have conversations with other lawyers as well. Because I know in this space, it's rare that you see lawyers creating this brand for themselves. And I just want for people who are working in more traditional jobs, or law students who are considering what to do with their lives after graduation, I want them to hear as many stories as possible, kind of like what you're doing with this Legal Limelight series. So I'd be happy to have you on the Non-Negotiable.
I'm coming on. Thank you so much, Nina. Thank you. And thanks to everyone who watched. This is another Legal Limelight with the amazing Nina the Lawyer. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
And we'll see you next Thursday.